Hi, this is Abel Stewart with our guitar lessons. So we're going to start getting into a little bit more bar chord, advanced bar chord theory. So the bar chords we learned so far is, for instance, the F. We learned this, and if you'll notice, it's the index finger on the first fret. So I'm going to call this an E shape bar chord, and I'll explain why that is. So if I play my E like this, what I can do is if I rearrange my fingers to cover those same exact positions but just with different fingers like that, that frees up my index finger, and what I can do then, like with the F, is move that up to the next fret, and this index finger becomes like the equivalent of my nut up here. It becomes a temporary nut. Now the advantage of that is I can move that around, right? All of these I would call E-shape bar chords because you remember kind of I based it off that open E, kind of like we did for the F and so on. So if I go up here to this second dot on that E string, that's going to be an A note. So if I play this chord here, this becomes an A chord E shape, if that makes sense. So if like on the first dot here, this would be third fret E string, it's a G, G chord, E shape. Now how do I know that's a G chord? Because that's my note G, and you remember on that E string, that's the root of my chord. You see E, F, F sharp, G. So if I build that E shape chord on that E string note, that's going to be a chord of that note name. So again, G chord E shape, right? So far so good. Now the names of the dots, I say names of the dots on the E string, there's a reason those dots are there. The names of them, memorize this, is G, A, B, C sharp, and then my double dot is an E. Why is it a double dot? It's the octave of the open string. So both of those are called an E. So we got E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat, B, C, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, E. All right. But again, if I memorize my dots, what happens is you'll notice a lot of guitars, the way the dots are configured, every note on here is within one fret of either the open string or a dot. So if I know the names of my dots, I can immediately find any note on the fretboard. So let's say I want an A flat. I know, okay, G, A, B. Okay, A flat between the A and the B. Boom, right there. A flat chord, right? So that's where knowing the names of your dots, the names of the notes, becomes really helpful. All right, so memorize on the E string, again, G, A, B, C sharp, E. What I would highly recommend, and I recommend to a lot of my guitar students, is make yourself some flashcards. There are 12 notes. So again, the E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat, B, C, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp, and E. Make a note card with each of those note names and write E shape. And then you can say, oh, I want to find a B flat chord. Okay, A, B flat. There it is. Drill yourself on that. That will help you a lot. Now, I mentioned the E shape here. If I lift my middle finger, suddenly I have a minor, E minor shape. So just like the difference between E and E minor, same principle applies with the bar chords. E shape, E minor shape, E minor shape. So if I wanted an F sharp minor, right there, second fret. If I want an A flat minor or G sharp minor, so that would be right here, right? So literally now, any major or minor chord, you know how to play it, right? So make a second set of flashcards and do E minor, F sharp or G flat minor, G minor, A flat minor, or G sharp minor, A minor, A sharp or B flat minor, B minor, C minor, C sharp or D flat minor, D minor, D sharp or E flat minor, and E minor. Make those 12 flashcards and write the minor chords E minor shape. All right? So that gives you should have 24 cards to drill yourself on either E or E minor shapes, and that will cover any major or minor chord. Now the next lesson we'll talk about, like for instance, if I have an E flat minor, that's all the way up here. Not real comfortable. There are much better positions to play that using different shapes. That's our next lesson. So we're going to talk about some different shapes, but get really comfortable with the E and the E minor bar shapes. Make yourself some flashcards, drill yourself, and at least you'll have one version of every major and minor chord that you can pull out whenever you need it.